Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of the Americas, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, today I'm looking yet again, as I did in the previous video, looking at the beast system. You notice a pattern developing. A few weeks back I spoke about the Islamic culture, and then you saw a mini judgment on the same day when I put the video up. You've seen a mini judgment of the Most High Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, judging those people over there in the Middle East. And similar things happened again this weekend. I went into, on the previous video, you're talking like 3-4 days ago, I went into the beast system, and I was trying to make it clear that for example, from seeing the leadership change, the new Prime Minister installed in the UK and England, you're seeing people with different comments and opinions. Everybody's got something to say, and the one overriding message is that these are two different parties, political parties, that are controlled by the same beast, they belong to the same beast system, and the beast system is manipulated by America. So it pretty much proves the point that democracy is futile and it's a rigged game. And that's what I went into. And then I went into the fact that you're going to see a lot of leadership changes around the world, presidents, prime ministers very soon, and this is to push the beast system into that new industrial era. I believe it's the fourth industrial revolution, the digital era. And that's what I went into. And then straight away you've seen a major event take place within that democratic system in America, the whore, using the beast system, but the beast is trying to eliminate the one of the parties from the situation, because we're going into that time where the right leaders have to be in place for the beast system to be able to all change at one time into this digital era. And so you've seen what happened with Donald Trump. He's not someone who's particularly down with that type of philosophy. He comes across more as a man of the people, and so he wants to defend the rights of the people, and that's not what the beast system wants to do. See, what you've got to remember about the beast system, it's made up of people. So it's a little bit like James Bond. The James Bond, he goes out there, they find out something got stolen, some nuclear plans, and then he has to go and get them back. And then what he does along the way, he comes across criminals, and sometimes he catches the criminal. I'm thinking of I don't know if you've seen it, but the movie Goldfinger, for example. In that movie, James Bond, he catches one of the criminals. He says, "Who do you work for?" And what the criminal does is he pops the suicide pill. I forgot what chemical it is, but he pops the suicide pill, and within a couple of seconds he's foaming at the mouth and he's dead. So this guy tries to take out James Bond. James Bond overcomes him and turns it back on him, and realizes he's working for this organization, almost like the beast system, and then threatens him with his life. Says, "Look, tell me who you're working for." But the man will say, "This organization is too big. You can't do nothing against them." That's what the criminal usually says, and then they'll, like I say, pop that suicide pill, and then James Bond is trying to get that last word out of them. It's too late. And then he carries on with his mission, trying to uncover this system, or this network of people which together make a system. And that's how the beast system works. So You're living in this so-called democratic system, and you've got these people fighting for these rights, but in between it, you've got people who operate in the function of the beast system. And so Donald Trump is not someone that wants to operate in that function, although when he's in the position, they'll try to get him to do what they want him to do. If it becomes too much of a problem, they find a way to get rid of you. Now, like I said, we're in 2024, we're moving to the halfway point of that 2020 to 2030 mark, and the beast system wants to get the right people into place. So, Donald Trump as a president has come and gone, but at the minute, it seems like the beast system don't want him there. We know this because there was an attempt on his life. We know there's a setup because it's quite obvious to see, the gunman was given way too much time to make the shot. And so, it's very basic and obvious. There's a building. On top of the building, this gunman, found a position to take a shot, and he took a shot. Any basic CIA intelligence would easily tell you to cover the rooftops on buildings in the surrounding area. Another thing that you look into is that if you research it, what they've been doing lately to Donald Trump is he's requesting certain amount of CIA service to be surrounded by while he's going on this tour, but they're not giving him what he's requesting, and they're giving him substandard agents, so on and so forth. This is the thing that's been going on for a few weeks. So it's like, a bit what happened with the buildings. You go all the way back to 2001. These people were willing to bring down the 2 tallest buildings in the middle of New York, a highly packed area like New York. They were willing to bring the buildings down at that time in order to push their agenda. That agenda created a buzzword, which is Islamophobia. And now you can't speak against it because everybody's got rights. That's how they're going to eventually ban this word. And so now we're at a different part. We're in the 2020 to 2030 part of the agenda. They're at that halfway point, and they need the right people in charge in the right nations to take forward this plan. And again, like I say, they don't want Trump. Before I go further, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and it says, the words of the preacher, the son of David, and king in Jerusalem. So this is son of David, that would be Solomon. Vanity of vanities, said the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. It says, what profit hath a man of all his labour which he taketh under the sun? What's the profit of all that stuff that you've been doing, running around in your whole life and doing? It says here, one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. So the wind goeth towards the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. It says, all the rivers run into the sea, and the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they run again. So all things are full of labour, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. It goes on to say here, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Just to finish off, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was done before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come, with those that shall come after. And so, what this is basically going into generations and circuits and the cycle of things. everything has a cycle. The planet has a cycle. Summer, winter, the sun, the moon, the wind, they have their circuits. Even as our spirits, the Holy Spirit is like the wind, and so is our spirit. When you pass away, your spirit leaves the body, it will leave like wind, and it'll go back up to the spiritual world, and you're left with a decaying carcass, which is the body, which eventually goes on to rot. So that spirit, even your spirit, is like the wind, because then it comes back again in a different generation. Reincarnation is biblical, and so your spirit will come back through your father's bloodline into a new baby's body. And so that's the circuit, going round. Everything has a circuit, even our spirits. We've come, we've gone, we've come, we've gone, and we've seen many kingdoms. We just don't remember them. There's no remembrance of them. And it says here, the thing that have been, it which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. So you see the events, fashions, they tend to repeat throughout the course of history. The reason why that is because the spirits of people come back. So you go back to an ancient time, and there were great musicians, and there are great musicians today, and these are the same great musicians that keep coming back. These spirits keep coming back in different bodies and living out the same things to a certain degree, similar, very close. And it says, so the things we go through have already been repeated. And so you see the event with Donald Trump. He's a problem to this new world order. He's a problem when it comes to going in the direction that they want to go in, these elites, in between 2020 and 2030. We're at the halfway point. They want the right leaders in place, and he's not touted as one of them. He could get into power and they could try to work with him, but this point we're at in the middle of 2020 and 2030 is crucial for the new world order, for the one world government, for the borderless society. That is where we're at. And so they don't really want him in power, and so there are people conspiring against him. We know it was a setup because, like I say, there were certain things that happening, but ultimately the bullet skimmed his ear. There's no man gonna agree to be involved in a setup and say, let's fake an attempt on my life, and it's okay for you to graze my ear with the bullet. That's too close of a call. So we know it's a setup because he was given, the gunman was given too much time, so on and so forth, and a lot of people in around him didn't react. When the shots were fired, that it didn't seem like a surprise to them. So, but however, he himself was grazed in the ear. So we know that he's probably not part of it. Somebody's trying to take him out, and we know why they're trying to take him out, because it looks like he's on the road to winning this election. And now, what that moment was, it was a make or break, because this is the elites, the secret council of the wicked, trying to do their thing. And what does the Most High say? He's going to scupper the plans, and it's going to become out of control. So they think they can send a guy in and just take him out, take the shot, take him out, and what happens? Somebody else got killed, he survives, and now we're at a point where they almost practically won him the election by missing. It was a make or break moment. They could have took him out. This new world order plan will just go, smoothly as they want it to go, and it just continued from there. But the Most High, had his hand in it, allowed them to miss. If the bullets hit somebody, then the Most High's judgment is correct, and whoever it hit, that's whoever it hit. And in the meantime, he survived, so he's able to now go forward to this election. And if he takes control, it's a problem to the elites, because they got this plan in place, and they will try to push it through him, but then they'll get pushback, and this is an issue. Now we believe that President or ex-president Donald Trump, we believe through the spirit he is Caesar Nero. All you've got to do is look at pictures, compare them, and just like it told you in Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, it told you that there's no new thing under the sun. So Nero is back, and Nero is going to go through the same steps, the same processes, similar events that Nero went through in ancient times, in the ancient Roman Empire. Now, what you're looking at on the screen here is the Pisonian conspiracy. Roman conspiracy against Emperor Nero, AD 65. It says the Pisonian conspiracy was a plot to assassinate the Roman Emperor Nero in AD 65, led by Gaius Calpurnius Piso. Piso was a prominent senator and nobleman who was dissatisfied with Nero's leadership and wanted to overthrow him. The conspiracy involved a number of other high-ranking individuals. You talk about conspiracies nowadays, people say you're a conspiracy nut. But when you look up history, they have clearly told you that conspiracies are taking place. But anyway, the conspiracy involved a number of other high-ranking individuals, including members of the Roman Senate, and was intended to take place during a public performance of the Emperor's musical compositions. So here you have Nero Part 2, 2.0, or Nero's back, and now he's calling himself Donald, and he's doing a public performance. And it says here and was intended to take place during a public performance of the Emperor's musical compositions. So that they plan. This is how they do it. This is Romans in the Edomite Empire. This is how they run things. They'll get you to come to some major public performance where everybody's witnessing you. There's loads of witnesses. They put it right in your view, and then they take you out. They could just send someone to your front door just to blap you on the front door, but they don't. They say no, we'll do it in front of the whole world, and then nobody can blame us. You see, we're some crazy guy. Whoever did it, we'll just lock him up, blame it on that guy, and we'll chuck him in the trash can in the jail. Nero is going through the same event again. There's people dissatisfied, and they don't want him to be back into power. They want to overthrow the power that he has, the momentum that he's building. It says here, it goes on to say, however, the plot was uncovered by one of the conspirators, and Piso and his associates were arrested and executed. The Pisonian conspiracy is significant in Roman history. Just like everybody keeps saying, this shooting, this is going to be remembered from years to come. We're back at that point. They're saying now on the TV what people were saying back then when it happened. This is going to be a great moment in history, remembered for years. Well, the last time it happened, it says here the Pisonian conspiracy is significant in Roman history because it represents one of the most serious threats to the stability of the Roman Empire during the reign of Nero, and highlights the tensions and conflicts that existed within the Roman elite at the time. Don't need to read no more. The elites, the beast system, that's this is what it's talking about. The beast system is back. Nero is back, and it's causing a problem for the beast system. And they get together, they make their conspiracy, and they say, pay a man to take a shot. And he missed. The guy missed. And it was the same thing, back then. It was a failed attempt, and then I believe later on he took his own life by suicide. Nero, on a later date, he ended up taking his own life through suicide. I think he stabbed himself or something like that. But he survived this assassination attempt, which was intended to take place during a public performance. So it was uncovered. Just reading it again, the Pisonian conspiracy was a plot to assassinate Nero. Piso was a prominent senator who was dissatisfied with the leadership, wanted to overthrow him. And it was a conspiracy involved the Roman Senate. However, the plot was uncovered. There it is, by one of the conspirators, and Piso and his associates were arrested and executed. So, before it actually happened, because back then, they wouldn't have been using rifles and whatever else. They would have just been a straight dagger in the back. So once you get close enough to do it, it's gonna take place. But it was a failed attempt, and just like what you witnessed 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago now, what you witnessed was a failed assassination attempt on Nero yet again, by people that are unhappy with the potential way he could have leadership. He's already had it. Biden's made a mess. He's coming, and it looks like he's coming back into power. Now that they've missed the shot, they took the shot and they missed it. They've done themselves in, because now they're going to have to. He is giving him so much momentum, and chances are he will win it. So there's an issue here for the beast system and the whore trying to manipulate it, and the elites. This all goes back down to the elites, the banking elites, the ones that control the money. Now, this is Psalm 64. I've got a couple of other videos for you to look at. Again, based on the topic that I went into on the previous video. I mentioned Keir Starmer, and he's the new Prime Minister of England, the UK, and he is basically handpicked by Davos. So I've got a video that goes into that. I've got another one which talks about, I'll just pull it up quickly actually. So that's where so basically the video in the middle, this Russell Brand, Tony Blair accidentally reveals the truth, and they go into basically what Starmer's about, his upbringing, his mentor Tony Blair, and it's all linked to Davos, and it's kind of against what what people want in the Parliament within the UK. They want a certain way of doing things. He's totally against that, and he's more linked with the people in Davos. So it kind of talks you through that. Even the video at the bottom there, Keir Starmer's plan to push WEF agenda. Both of those short videos go into his involvement in the WEF, and the fact that he's one of their people, and they've kind of put him into that particular place. They've groomed him basically. They've got him ready for the leadership. He was told. They're talking about things that he was told months ago, and they got people in place that could do potential jobs within the government. Yet they only took over. They only had the vote last week. So all these people ran out last Thursday voting. These people were getting people into jobs months back, so that they can be part of this new government. So they were already. This is already a done deal. It's the beast. Forget about your two. We keep telling you, forget about the lamb, the two horns like a lamb. Forget that part. That's just a soap opera. That's all it is. It's just a charade. It's just entertainment, bread and circuses. The real deal is the beast, and the whore that rides it. Now we say the whore that rides it is America, yes. However, the banking elites are the ones with the money. They're the ones that really are manipulating it. Now, this video at the top, this is live Klaus Schwab accused of sexual harassment. So that's what I've been speaking of. I've been speaking of a new direction. They need to put the right people into place now, in between 2020 and 2030, to take us through this crucial second half of this great reset. And so you've got Starmer in the UK. The debate is out over America. They're trying to get rid of one guy, but the other guy that they want is probably failing. Biden, that's probably the guy they want, but he's failing. So we don't know what's going to happen in America. We know ultimately, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 16 has to come about in America, a civil war, so on and so forth. So this is all propelling us towards it. But they're also making changes in the WEF. You look at this video here at the top, 23 minutes long. Basically, they're getting rid of Klaus Schwab. Now, it's true what they say, any name within these types of organizations, any names that are big, any names that are well known are usually dispensable. So You know, you have certain people that are indispensable, but a dispensable person is somebody you can afford to get rid of. Now you have secret organizations, and you know people try to search them out. So what they'll do, they'll put somebody at the forefront, and we'll get to know that person, and we'll know that person represents that organization. We become familiar with that person and relate that person to the organization. But you know, when the certain people within the organization want to remain secret, they will present that particular person as the forefront. And then, you know, when heat or problems or issues arise, they can get rid of that person, move them along, and say that we've got rid of the problem and we've replaced them with somebody else. Meanwhile, the machine in the background still keeps operating and pulling and pushing in the right direction, in the same direction that they always have been. So, you know, you'll find sometimes in this world, people will be presented as the face of something. However, they usually are dispensable, especially when the elites and secret bankers are in the background, and they don't want people to know that they're involved. And the guy goes on to explain. It's like the James Bond movie. They give you two bad guys to focus on, and anytime something goes wrong, they can just drop one of them. They can say, well, he's the bad guy, get him killed, and that issue was down to him. We got rid of him. And it's kind of, it shows you how this is how the way the world works. It's all a load of nonsense. It's all hidden. They have their agendas. They want to go forward with it. And so now they're just bringing forward a new leader. The new leader is, you can guess, is that Noah Yuval Harari, that little demon, small hat demon. So I think he's going to be heading it now. So you're seeing leadership changes in the governments around the world. You're also seeing it in the WEF. Although the leadership, what we see, they're not really the leaders. It's the people behind pulling the strings. The people that own the organization, rather than be this guy or that guy. The people that own things, the people that own the money, own the banks, the people that can tell the governments, you do that. If you don't do this, we don't give you the money. Now, like I said in the last video, there's a lot of manipulation with the beast system. It's all behind closed doors. You've got, for example, in the UK, like I said, they've groomed Starmer. You watch these videos, you'll see he's been groomed from early, and he's brought in the problems within the UK, perfectly timed for him to come in at that time in the middle of 2024 and take that position. The same way in America, one party, one horn of the lamb is completely failing, so everybody's desperate for the other horn. They choose the horn. They made you choose. See, this is what's going to get you. They made the people choose the leader. And so when the leader gets draconian, you can't blame no one else but yourself, because you chose him. Now in America, it's a bit of a rocky road, because Biden can barely walk up a staircase, and Trump's just shooting him down. If you notice, when the shot came at Trump, he was basically, it came at the time when he was talking about the migrants, the immigration and the problem, the border, and he was about to say, you've seen the numbers, you think it's bad. Well, here are the numbers of the last 2 months, and then he was about to say them, and that's when the shots came. So it's almost like you can't let him, had to stop him. Ultimately, if the bullet had hit, that'd be the end of him. There'd be no, forget all his ideas and what he stands for. There'd be nobody to represent it, and that's ultimately what they wanted. So they could sway you back to Biden and say, well, there's no one else to do it. Who else is going to do the job? They'll get some candidate to replace Trump, and it's not even enough time to build up momentum between now and the end of the year, or end of the time when the vote is. So everything, like I explained in the last video, like you've just witnessed in the last 2 days, this whole democratic system is false. It's BS. It's manipulated behind the scenes. It's all connected to the same beast, and the beast is there for oppression, and it's going to get real draconian very soon. And this is Psalm 64. It says, Psalm 64:1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So like I say all the time, you come across this scripture, people say, there's no such thing as these conspiracy, they call you conspiracy theory nuts. But the word conspiracy exists because the action takes place. You wouldn't have the word describing action, but there's no action to go with it. Can I give you a word of something that you don't know what it is? Well, what is the action of that? Well, there's no action. So then what is the word of? The word's nothing. The word has to belong to an action or a belonging or something. We've just read up in the Roman society that, ancient Roman Empire, there was conspiracies, and so there are today. Now you may call them conspiracy theories because they're theories. That's a theory, is just something that you think of. Well, it could be this, could be that. That's just a theory, but it doesn't necessarily mean whether they're true or not. You then go and look at the information, you research it, you follow it for yourself, you use your own brain, you make a executive calculated decision, and you work it out. Like people keep pointing out, you look at the situation with Trump. I think the guy was given like a minute and a half. People started calling the cops to say, there's a guy on the roof, he was given like a minute and a half to take the shot. I think there's another group of people that were saying that they could see from a distance the guy in the building, and they were telling police officers like 4 minutes before he took the shot. And how the hell are the CIA going to leave such an open spot to take the shot from? Your CIA, your first job is to go in. One of the basics is to look at all the rooftops around you and say, well, that's a potential place that a shot could be taken from. It's up there. The CIA did have a marksman on the roof, on the building close to Trump. It was his job to cover the rooftops as well as everything else. And he was aware apparently of the shooter for about a minute and a half before he took his shot. He didn't take his shot until the shooter took his shot. He also didn't take his shot until the order was given to him. So, this is where, you have people on the ground doing the job, but then the people in the background calling the shots are the ones that are either making mistakes or they're purposely doing it. So, like I say, you had various groups of people who spotted this shooter. Ones that were close to him, they spotted him up to 4 minutes before he took the shot, and the actual marksman from the CIA himself, his job to cover that particular rooftop, he was aware for about a minute and a half, but he didn't take the shot until he was ordered to, and that was after the shooter had taken his shot. It's all what do they call it? Keystone Cops. It's all Keystone Cops. It's a planned event by the people behind the scenes to eliminate somebody, yet the people that carried it out, they're Keystone Cops. The CIA team that were with Trump, they're also Keystone Cops because, like I say, if you look into it, they've been shafting him when it comes to security lately. They've been saying, no, you don't really need all that, and here's some lower ranking agents, so on and so forth. So it's all obvious to see. But yes, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And one of their plans is this MOTB. This is what we really want hiding from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet. And the word whet there is sharpen, to sharpen their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And some of these bitter words, they say, you can't say that, you're Islamophobe. If you can't say that, you're thisophobe, you're thatophobe. And eventually they're going to shut down the word. They're going to say, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. We got an agenda, we're pushing it. There's too much uproar from you guys, and you need to cut it out. And these are bitter words to shut down what you're saying with this truth. But they say it with their laws and their rules, and their protection of not protection of free speech, but protection of individuals. And that's how they're going to do it. These are bitter words coming at us. There's many, goes into many areas, but that's just one particular example. It says here that they may shoot in secret the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter They commune of laying snares privily, privately. They say, who shall see them? And that's the thing, you see, it's all been exposed. We're in that time where, they're being revealed. And so for years and years, they always got away with these little things, these secret agencies, these elites, the people working behind the scenes, whoever they are. Remember, like I say, it's like the James Bond film. James Bond catches the criminal. The criminal tries to get James Bond. James Bond turns it around on him, gets him in a lock, and basically says, who you work for? And he says, I'm not going to tell you. The organisation's too big. They're too strong. They're too powerful. And then he takes the suicide pill. And then I think even in... I don't know which movie it is, but even one of them, he says to his agent, his friend, he says, look, man, whoever's operating around here, every time we approach one of them people, they commit suicide. So whoever they're working for is one hell of an organisation. And that's what the beast is. You don't know who's working for them, who's who. But it says here, they encourage themselves in evil matter, they commune of laying snares privately, privily. They say, who shall see them? But we're, like I say, we're starting to see you. We can now, with cameras, YouTube, so on and so forth, people are up there going, well, look, this guy had a minute and a half to take the shot. So now we do see you, but you think you can't be seen. But the Most High is exposing you, that your days are done. It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. The heart, going back to the mind. And that diligent search, they go into scientific, they go into all sorts of little bits of information, and they try to put it all together. They found out about the MOTB, the technology, how to try to merge it with human, the digital, they've worked all this stuff out. This is their diligent search. They're putting it all together, the great master plan of the Edomites, the MOTB. It says here, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And those arrows represent the ICBMs. As well as this word, we're speaking these words, we're exposing their plans. These elites are wondering how is it that we're able to talk you through the events as they play out. And it's because we have the Spirit from Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit, to open our eyes. And so that creates fear within them. And so, these words are arrows, but, the main arrows are going to be the nuclear ICBMs, which will put this kingdom to bed. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear, and shall declare the work of the Most High. For they shall wisely consider of his doing. It says here, the righteous shall be glad in Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. So, we thank the Holy Spirit that we've got the eye salve to, see the wood from the trees. We look around at all these different events, and we're able to make sense of it. What you've got to realize as well is that, like, for example, I've used this example before. You're looking at the screen and you're looking at a dot to dot. Now all these dots represent another bit of information, another bit of truth. And there's people out there that got bits of truth, but can you see the whole picture? And in this particular instance, you can't see the picture because nobody has connected the dots. There's people out there that can see some bits of the picture. So you look at this particular picture. This is again another dot to dot. You join the dots, you make a picture. Now you can tell, maybe there's 3 or 4 fish in there, I'm not sure. And you're not really sure of all the details, and that's a lot of people out there. They can see bits of truth, they reveal bits of truth. We gather the information, we bring it together. And eventually what we do is we join the dots. And we can only do that through the Holy Spirit, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. So you've got people out there that will expose certain things, and they'll bring the correct information out. They'll show you exactly what's happening over here with the economy. They'll show you exactly what's happening over here with the digital system. They'll expose a democratic system and show you how it's a fraud. And But all in all, is the ability to connect all the dots and create the whole picture. Gives you the full view, and with that you can only do that through Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and with that you can only do that through Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Part of the dots, when you connect up all the dots, to get all the dots to connect and make sense, one of those dots has to be the name Yahweh, and one of those dots has to be the name Yahweh Shai. So if you're trying to connect dots, and you don't, within that pattern that you're trying to create, if you don't have the names Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, you'll never complete the full picture of dot to dots. You'll never get the full view. We're able to get that, and through the Holy Spirit, through the grace of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and what He's given us. So I'm going to leave it right there, but like I say, check these 3 videos I'll leave them on the comment board. There's 3 videos here to watch. You've got 2 based on how Keir Starmer is pretty much groomed and primed to be following the WEF now that he's leader of the UK, so he can take the UK into the direction that Davos want them to. And at the same time, you can see Klaus Schwab is about to take early retirement. They've got a new leader coming in, a new devil, a new demon, to take his position, and they go into a few bits of information about the WEF. So yeah, try to watch those if you can. I hope that's edifying. I'm gonna leave it right there. Until next time, I'll say all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quadash, and until next time, Shalom.